My dear friends, I'm going to share with you a moment so profound and transformative, a day that's etched in my heart forever. As I stood by the serene shores of the lake of Gennesaret, the dawn breaking gently over the horizon, I felt a stirring within me. I felt a call. I can't explain it, but it was a call. As a fisherman, my nights were often spent battling the restless waves, casting the nets into the deep and hopeful for a bountiful catch. My father taught me how to fish in this sea. I know this sea like the back of my hand. But that night was different. That night, the waters had been unyielding. And my nets, as I cast them, returned empty. Returned empty time and time again. My hands are sore. Weariness weighed heavy on my shoulders. They weighed heavy on my shoulders as the first light of the morning just kissed the waters. Boy, am I exhausted. I am exhausted in both mind, body, and spirit. I'm exhausted. It was then that I noticed him. The teacher. The teacher standing by the water's edge. A crowd was gathering around him, eager to hear his words. Jesus, with eyes that seemingly pierced through the very fabric of my soul, approached me and entered into my boat and directed me to go just a little ways from shore. I hesitated for a moment, unsure of what lay ahead, but something within urged me to comply. So as I rowed from shore, Jesus began to speak. His voice carried in the winds with a message of hope, with a message of love, and with a message of divine wisdom. The crowd listened. They listened to him intently. Their hearts were alight with anticipation. And as I listened, I felt a warmth, a presence that filled the void within my heart. I'm tired. And when he had finished speaking, Jesus turned to me and said, put into the deep water and let your nets down for a catch. My heart raced in skepticism and clouding my thoughts. Master, I replied, we have worked hard all night and have nothing to show. But because you say so, I will let down the nets. My hands are aching, trembling. I cast the nets once more, and the waters are still. But yet they shimmer with a promise I could not yet see. Moments passed, and then the waters began to ripple and become unsettled. And then there was a frenzy. My nets were overflowing with teams of fish so abundant that they began to tear the nets. I need help. And overwhelmed, I signaled to my partners, James and John, come and help. Bring your father Zebedee. And Rabbi, you got me into this. Help me. Together we hauled a miraculous catch. Our boats nearly sunk under the weight. My heart is pounding full of energy. My hands never felt stronger. And it was that instant I fell to my knees. I fell to my sea knees, my soul laid bare. Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man. I cried. For I knew then that I stood in the presence of the divine. But Jesus with his tender smile, lifted me up and said, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, I see you. I know you, and I am with you. And so, we left. We left everything behind. Our boats, our nets, our livelihoods, and followed him. That day marked the beginning of a journey of faith, a journey of transformation. Jesus has called us not to a life of comfort, but to a life of purpose, to become fishers of men, spreading the message of love and salvation to the ends of the earth. Now, Jesus' invitation to Simon and Peter to become fishers of men is a powerful reminder to all of us of the transformative power of God's grace in each and every one of your lives. We cast our nets. We cast our nets into the deep waters of our life. Our Father asks us to trust him. To trust him and leave behind our fears, our doubts, and the old ways of our life, and embrace the new identity and purpose that he offers each and every one of us. Yes, we may be tired. We may be tired and we may be weary. Maybe even skeptical of this man named Jesus. But like any great journey, one great journey requires action. It requires us to take that first step of faith. Take that step. Embrace the mission that God has for each and every one of us, knowing that he equips us with his presence and with his grace. He is on the shore, and he is ready to enter into your boat.